Seeing Milos Kerkez play lately has put a massive smile on my face. All you need to do is go back to the start of the season. People were ready to chuck this guy in the bin straight away after 5 games, saying that we made a mistake. It isn't the same team of the year Kerkez from Bournemouth. We jumped the gun. We spent too much money on him. After 5 games, and people were automatically already writing him off. It's completely mad, especially when you consider the environment that he walked into. You're 21 years old, coming off the back of a brilliant season with Bournemouth, and straight away the expectation is you need to come in here and perform at the same level as one of, if not the best left backs in Premier League history, playing for the champions who have an incredibly demanding fan base. That is insane pressure. Of course, he was going to look nervous. Of course, adrenaline was going to take over in moments. Of course, he was going to try too hard. But patience in modern day football does not exist, so everyone jumped to conclusions so fast. And what I find extremely funny is all the things that were painted out as his flaws early in the season are turning out to be what everyone now is praising. The aggression, the fight, the way that he always wants to back his teammates, the way that he always wants to fly forward. That's Milos Kerkez. That's the left back that we signed. For me, in terms of his performances, the big turning point came when Arne stopped asking him to do things that he naturally can't do very well. To be something he isn't. At the start of the season, we saw him almost as this ball-playing left back, left centre-back in a back three that was slowing the game down, wasn't really getting forward, was trying to overlap, but it would never work. That's not Milos Kerkez. Kerkez is about intensity, directness, arriving at pace, quick combinations, first-time deliveries. Now we are finally starting to see that. For me, this has really helped his performances, and he's been able to tell that he's performing well. At the start of the season, he looked like a player that was terrified to make mistakes because he kept on making mistakes. Now he looks like a player that you just expect to go in, get stuck in, and win every single duel, which most, if not all of the time, he does. He now really wants the ball. He wants to overlap. He wants to affect games. That's what this confidence and belief has done to him. I do just want to quickly focus on this Brighton game. He won the Carlsberg Player of the Match, which I think is incredibly deserved. That assist all over social media and just media outlets in general, everyone was saying that it was undefendable, absolutely beautiful. Curtis Jones at the back post to finish it off was really nice to see, considering that, in my opinion, he's been majorly stitched up lately. But it was all built from Kerkez. He recognised the space, he attacked it, he delivered with such good quality. But it wasn't just the assist, it was the entire performance, especially in that first half. Everything, the ball control has improved so much. He's so much more calm on the ball. He's winning duels constantly, as I said, which isn't surprising anymore. The one thing that is still quite not there, in my opinion, is the connection and the relationship down that left-hand side with Cody Gakpo. But at the end of the day, is that really Kerkez's fault? As I always say with these things, hopefully with time, these relationships will get better. I made a short where I basically said that him and Cody Gakpo need to go on a bro holiday and make some connections, build some chemistry, because it doesn't look good between them two, and it really hasn't improved since the start of the season. People laugh at moments like this. He's squared up to so many players. Anthony Gordon, Dan Burn, there's definitely more. In the beginning of the season, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I wasn't worried that he was a little bit hot-headed, that he would find himself getting into trouble, but it's almost like a controlled chaos. He has that Darwin Núñez energy, but it's a little bit more calculated. It doesn't feel like he's going to tip himself over the line and then get in trouble and get sent off. I genuinely love the way that he stands up for our players. I think you need a player like this in your team. And as I said, I'm just glad that he doesn't go that little bit too far. Something kind of similar to this in terms of his mentality, I think that gets overlooked is just how much he seems to care about Liverpool. Just how much he seems to know what it's like to play for Liverpool, to know what it means to play for our club. Every interview, every comment, every Instagram post, he's always showing that he knows what it means to play for our club, and that really means something to us fans. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place here. I'm talking about performances and mentality. It kind of sums up Kerkez a little bit. In terms of his performances, this wasn't just a one-off. I think since December, really since that Arsenal game, he has been at that very, very high level. You can really see him growing in stature. You can see his teammates are trusting him more. The crowd are reacting to him differently and really getting him fired up. At the same time, he's also getting them fired up. Is he still considered as erratic? I think yes. He's 21. You can refine that, but I don't think too much really needs to be refined. And I also don't know if you can teach that or if it's a good idea to teach that. What you definitely can't teach is that willingness to play for the badge and that passion, and he's got bucket loads of that. I do want to use this opportunity to give some praise to Arne Slot here, because it would have been very easy to panic with all of the noise early in the season about Kerkez and chuck Robbo straight back in and not really give Kerkez too many opportunities, but he didn't do that. He really stuck it out with Kerkez, and I think we're seeing the positives of that now. What does really blow my mind, and yes, I'm going back to this point, is how quickly our fan base was to write off this guy. I don't think there was many people in our fan base that wrote off someone like Florian Wirtz, but with this guy, it really seems like no one believed in him originally, just because of a couple of bad months. I think with all of our signings, it's been a really good message to all of us that we just need to be a little bit patient. The club knows what they're doing with these signings. We just need to let them adapt and adjust. I still kind of feel like the same thing's happening right now with Isak. The guy's injured. He hasn't really been able to fit in properly, and it's going to happen again. I'm going to probably make a video about Isak saying how good he is after everyone was doubting him. The reality is simple. Milos Kerkez is just absolutely balling out at the moment. Imagine him in a year or two when it's just second nature. I still feel like sometimes he's like, oh, I play for Liverpool. It's kind of crazy. But I feel like in a couple of years, it's all just going to be normal for him, and it's just going to be amazing to watch. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you've made it this far, I thoroughly appreciate you. If you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all of that good stuff. I will see you in the next one. Peace out, and of course, you will never walk alone.